Philippines, and I met her when she was 16. There's my wife. 16. I was 20 years old, and I married her when she was 18. I was 22, and then we went to the United States. I borrowed money from my uncle because I had no money, and $100. We went to the United States when I was 22. From 22 years old to 28 years old, I worked like a dog in an office, you know. And then at 28 years old, I was invited to a meeting like this. Okay, and I had no idea about network marketing, about direct sales. And I heard people like the one you hear today talking on the stage, making a lot of money. And at the time, all I know was just like work minimum wage, you know. So I said, wow, if these people can make a lot of money, maybe I can do it too, you know. And then I asked them, what do I have to do so I can become like them? It was a different company at the time, and they said, you have to read the book Think and Grow Rich, and they gave me a whole list of books to read and audio tapes to listen to, and I learned them all in 1 year. By 29 years old, I quit my job in Wall Street, and I said, I just want to do network marketing and direct sales. For the next 20 years, that's what I did. But then I would join a company, I would build a group, and then there would be a problem, and then I would lose everybody, you know. And then I find another company, start all over again. 7 different companies for 20 years. And then I found this Enagic 10 years ago. Okay, so before I joined Enagic, I had 20 years of experience in different companies. So that's where I learned how to do network marketing, how to make sales, how to make list of names of people, how to hold them, how to do presentations. So when I joined Enagic, what happened was apparently the Japanese company Enagic brought this machine to the United States in 2003. And they built 4 offices where the Japanese communities are. So they were selling it only among the Japanese. It was New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Hawaii. And then I have a friend in California, his wife was suffering from all kinds of health problems. Aurora, the husband is JB. She drank the water, she felt better, she became well, and JB bought the machine. And then JB came to my house. He kept on calling me from California, talking to me about the machines. He was trying to recruit me from 2003, 2004, 2005, and I don't want to listen to him. Like, I'm not answering his phone call. Like I didn't care about the machine. I don't want to sell like a machine. I was doing real estate in Florida, mostly I live in New York, okay? So in New York, it's very cold. That's why my wife and I, we've been in Enagic 10 years now, and we always get out of New York when it's January and February because it's freezing, you know? It's snowing, so that's why we're here in Asia now. We've been away since January 5. We've been in Jakarta actually, and then Bali, Indonesia 2 weeks ago, and then we were in Kota Kinabalu, and then we were in Kuala Lumpur, and then we flew here. Actually, we're going to Guam, and then India, and then back to the Philippines, and back to New York at the end of February. So 2 months we will be in warm countries, you know. Anyway, JB came to my house November of 2005. And he did the demonstration on me, the pH test. He gave me a gallon of the Kangen water. After he left, I still didn't care. I threw away the gallon. You know? Like I just didn't care about the water. Anyway, that was November 2005. And then he called me up again January 2006. Okay? Actually, now is February 2016. I started February 2006. So I have been in Enagic 10 years now. Okay, so anyway, he said, Romi, the Japanese owner, Mr. Oshiro, is coming to California. Why don't you fly to California? I'm going to pay for your airfare, pay for your hotel. I'll pick you up at the airport, bring you back to the airport. Just come to California and attend the meeting. So at the time, my real estate business was going down. There was a big storm in Florida where I was selling it, and I lost the business. I had no more income. I was broke. My wife was working at the hospital, and the hospital closed. So we had no income. We were gonna lose our house if I don't find anything new to work on. And then I heard that my friend JB was getting checks from this Enagic Japanese company, I wanted to know, I mean, if it was true that they're making good money. So when he invited me to go to California, I said, JB, when I fly to California and you check me in at the hotel, I want you to bring the checks. I want to see for sure, you know. He might just be kidding me, you know. Anyway, I flew to California, he checked me in at the hotel, and he was holding a whole bunch of checks, you know. Actually, they're just pay stubs. He already cashed them. And then there were 18 envelopes that were not opened yet. It was still closed. So I asked Aurora, the wife, I said, Aurora, how come you're not cashing these 18 checks? And then Aurora said, you know, Romy, I can only put 7 checks on a deposit slip, you know. Like she was getting tired of like writing deposit slips, you know. I said, that's a good number, I mean, a good problem. Anyway, and then he brought me, anyway, I took a picture of those checks, I added them up, and that was 3 months check, that was 54,000 US dollars, okay? So I said to myself, I know my friend JB was broke before, you know, if he can make this kind of money, maybe I can try. And then he brought me, and he did the pH test demonstration again at the hotel room. And then he brought me to the meeting, and it was a meeting like this. Mr. Oshiro, the owner, was talking, but they were all Japanese, some Chinese, some Koreans, and the whole meeting was in Japanese. I did not understand anything. All I understood, because I have a guy that sit next to me, he was drinking the canned water, and he said his gout went away. And so I understood 2 things already. I understood that the water works, and I understood that the money is good. Okay? Good water, good money. I came back to New York. I had my last credit card with a little bit of money on it, and I bought my machine. I used it for down payment, and I said I'm gonna make the money to have monthly payments on it, you know. And I bought my machine. That was February 2006. You know, as soon as I got my machine, I just tried to remember the demonstration that JB did. Okay, he cannot help me because he's in California and I'm in New York. So I said to myself, I have to do my own demonstration now. So I called my first customer, my first prospect. She was in her 80s. She was the mother-in-law of my wife's brother. Okay, I called her Nanay, Mama. I said, Nanay, I have this Japanese machine. Maybe the water can help you. Okay, I called Nanay because every time I have a new product in a new company, she was my first customer. She always buy anything from me. So I went to her house, and I don't know what to say, except I said, I bought my first 4 bottled water, and I had my pH tester, that's just my tool, and all I said was, Nanay, see, when they turn yellow, they're acidic, they're bad, you should not drink them, you know. If it turns purple, it's alkaline, it's good, that's what you should drink. My water is alkaline, that's good for you, you know? Anyway, when she asked how much it is, it was 4,000 US dollars, and she didn't buy for the first time. Anyway, I gave her 5 gallons of water from my machine, and then I went home. My wife and I went home. Apparently, she gave away 3, and she only drank the 2. A few days later, she called me. She said, Romy, I ran out of the water you gave me. My aches and pains are not as much anymore. They're going away. I want more water. I just want to buy the machine you showed me. Wow, I was getting lucky. My first demo, and she bought, you know. But I forgot to tell you, after I did my pH test, she took the pH tester from me, and she disappeared. Apparently, she went to the bathroom and tested her pee, you know. She found out it's acidic. Anyway, I went to her house, wrote the order. On my way home, I said to myself, let me find myself another 80-year-old lady, you know? So I called Sister Jenny. I called her Sister Jenny from our church. She's in her 80s. She walks around with a cane, And I know she has a lot of pain, so I called her. I went to her house. I said, Sister Jenny, I have this Japanese machine. Maybe it can help you. I did the demo. She didn't buy again. She said, Romi, I'm only getting Social Security check. That machine is too expensive. I cannot afford it. You know. I gave her 2 gallons. So I learned right away that you only give 2 gallons. So I gave her 2 gallons. A few days later, she called me too. She said, Romi, I did not tell you when you were in my house, I'm suffering from sciatica. The sciatica pain from my feet to my back, every day is there. When I was drinking your water, I was feeling better. The pain was going away. I want more water. I just want to buy the machine you showed me. Wow, my second sale. Okay. Anyway, I went to my friend Joe Reed. Now, Joe Reed is a network marketing guy like me. He's been in different companies. We're together. You name it, he sold it. Vitamins, water filter, real estate, insurance. So I said, Joe, I found this machine from Japan, and this is what it does. You know, he bought the machine right away. Okay, now, so remember in that compensation plan, your first 2 sales, you're a 1A, and then your third sale, you become a 2A, and then you make double on the 2A leg. Actually, the true story is, I went to Joe first, and I told the story about JB in California, and Joe bought the machine, and then I hold on to his application. I had to find 2 people first because I want Joe on my 3rd line. So I had to find those 2 ladies quick. So Joe was my Joe was my 2A, and then Joe brought a lot of people. He became a 6A, so I earned a lot of 2 points quick. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I called. When I brought Cynthia at the meeting, she didn't buy. The first meeting when I went to California, I said, Cynthia, this Japanese company, I heard they're making money. Why don't you come with me? Because Cynthia is a network marketer. Okay. She didn't buy. And then when I became 5A, I became 5A actually in 6 weeks to a month and a half. Okay. What I did was, remember the Joe and the 2 ladies? Once I found out I can make sales by doing the demo, I was doing demo every single day. Every day, 1 or 2 demo a day. By the end of the 3 months, I became a 6A, 100 sales. Okay. With 100 sales, more or less, I made approximately $80,000 US on 3 months, okay? And then I kept on doing it, and by the end of the 6th month, my genealogy, the one you get from the company, the report of all the sales, it shows there are 300 sales in my group in 6 months. The total commission was $180,000 US, 6 months. And then I kept on doing it, and by the end of 2006, that was my first year. By the end of 2006, my group was selling over 500 machines per month. And my total commission at the time was $350,000. That was the first year. So the second year, when I found out I can become a 6A in 3 months, I was helping people in my group to become 6As also. So every 3 months, I have a brand new 6A. It took me approximately 2.5 years, 3 years to become 6A8. I became 6A8. And then I started helping them down the line, and today I'm a 6A8-5. And what happened was, it spread all over United States, my small group. And then the Mexicans started buying, and Enagic opened an office in Mexico. And then one of my downline in Florida have a downline in Toronto. It started growing in Canada, so we opened an office in Canada. One of my downline in Chicago, on a different leg, found another guy down the line in Vancouver, Canada. So we opened Vancouver, Canada. And then the Europeans started buying from United States and from Canada. So we opened the United Kingdom, Dusseldorf, Germany, we opened Rome, and we opened Paris, France. And then from Cynthia comes Pierre. And now we opened Singapore and Malaysia and Indonesia and Philippines and Australia, and it grew. So the group that I started today have grown around the world, and I have about over 2,000 6As in my group. Over 2,000 6As. Actually, it was my second year. What I did was, after my first year in 2006, at the time we had no tools, no English DVD, no brochures, everything was in Japanese. At the time, I saw some website, and by the end of 2006, my first year, I created my own presentation on a DVD, and that was the first DVD actually in English. In 2007, my second year, I must have mailed out over 40,000 of that DVD. Okay, what happened was, many of the distributors, they don't know how to do the demo, so I created a PowerPoint, put my voice behind it, and I was telling everybody, just show it to people, you know, on a living room, on a television, and just watch it. That's the presentation, and it worked. By the end of the second year, 2007, summer of 2007, I remember my wife was in North Carolina with her brother doing a demo, and it was my turn to get the checks from the mailbox. And I get all the checks, I added them up. On that particular day, my total checks on my mailbox was $107,000 US. One day. So as early as 2007, I started earning about $100,000 US in 1 month. By 2008, it hit like $1 million in 1 year. You know? And instead of losing the house, I ended up buying 5 more houses. 5 more houses. I built. So far, I have built 4 churches. I'm donating the churches in the Philippines. Many of our relatives, nieces and nephews who cannot afford college, my wife and I have been sending them to college. Several of them graduated already. Somebody became a chef. Some of them became nurses. One of them became a policeman. You know, and it feels good when you're able to help relatives who normally would not have gone to college because they have no money to go to college. You change their lives, you know. And my wife and I today, we travel around the world because what happened to me when I became a 6A in New York, I went to California on a big event. I'm telling you, big events like this is very, very important. Remember, JB was sending me brochures, called me on the phone, did a demo on my house, and I didn't want to listen. He got me when he brought me to an event like this. Okay, and I saw top people on the stage talking about Enagic. So events are very important. You want to bring people to the event. Now, last year we had a big event in Anaheim, California. I think there were about 3,000 people there. People from all over the world went to that event. And like the way you're hearing from me today, when you go to an event like that, you would hear dozens of them talking on the stage. And you're gonna get caught up in that excitement, in that energy. And the people you bring to the event will get so excited and will start to build. So we did it last year in Anaheim, California. We're doing it this year in July in Las Vegas. So I really encourage you, go to Las Vegas in July. Once you see thousands of people, top people on the stage, you and the people you bring in, when you go back to your country, you're so excited, you're just gonna go up in rank. That's what happened to those who went to the event in Anaheim last year. They go back to Singapore, to Malaysia, to Indonesia, and they started going 6A, 6A2, 6A, like they all grew in rank. So you don't want to miss that event in July. Okay, so I'm thankful to God. Okay, I always say that I really believe in nature and grace. Nature is everything we can learn on training, on how to develop ourselves, because that's the key, self-development. That's why I run around doing training, because I try to help people to develop themselves, self-development. But then I believe in grace. Grace is when God intervenes and help you. Okay, the way I see it is, for the past 20 years before Enagic, I've been praying. I said, Lord, give me, help me, you know, because I'm so broke. After 20 years of doing network marketing, trying and trying, I got nothing to show for it. I was still broke, and I believe this Enagic company and the people that joined me, God gave them to me. And this was the answer to my long years of praying. I remember at one point my son Jason is a 6A. Now he has his own group. When he was a little boy, he told me one time, years ago, he said, "Dad, I saw an ice cream truck, and they're accepting ice cream truck drivers. Maybe you should apply." I said, "Jason, why are you telling me this?" He was probably asking me for money, and I had no money. And Jason said, "Dad, because you are so poor, Dad." I said, "Jason, I am not poor. I am a rich man who is broke." Mindset. And that's what we train on. That's what I do in my training. I train people to have the mindset. So even though when I was broke at the time, I have the mindset of a rich person. I've always wanted to make millions of dollars. I've always believed that the first million is the hardest. Once you hit the $1 million, the next millions becomes easy. Okay, and it's true. And again, it's not just, I would say, self-development or developing our nature or our talents. It's God's help also. Okay, there's a creator who created the whole universe, who put that creativity inside of us, and we can use that. We can develop that. Okay, and I thank my wife for being with me. Oh, we've been married how many years now? 38, I think. Almost 38. So we have 2 sons. We have 3 grandchildren. Okay, and we enjoy this business. Every morning, my 2 sons. Okay, what I did was the latest house that I purchased because of Enagic, because of our income in Enagic. It's like a resort in New York, in Staten Island, by the ocean, with a simple, like 5 bedrooms, 7 bathroom. It's like so nice. I'm doing I'm building a house in my hometown in the Philippines now. When it's done, it's like 8 bedroom, because I'm gonna invite people into that house, and they would see, I mean, the potential you have in this Enagic business. Okay, in the United States, many of the top distributors from around the United, they go to my house in New York just to see the house, because they get like encouraged when they see it. One time there were these 2 guys from another company called Yoli. They were driving this white Mercedes-Benz, because their company is giving away cars when you do certain level, you know. And they came to my house and they said, "Wow, you got this house from doing the Kangen business?" I said, "Yes. Actually, this is the 5th house already." You know? And then anyway, they bought the machine, and I was doing a meeting afterwards to their people in that other company. And then the people were asking their leader, I said, I thought we were doing the Yoli business. Why are we selling Kangen machines now?" And their leader said, "Oh, because in Yoli we only get cars. They're getting houses in Kangen." But that's the potential of this business. Okay, thank you very much.